Hey guys, I made a video a while ago on trolls on YouTube. A lot of people seem to agree with it, but I've been giving it more thought, prompted by a lot of the comments I get on my videos. Most of the videos I get are really polite and reasonable. Often they disagree with me, but usually people seem to be able to do it in a polite and reasonable way and just say, oh, you know, I don't agree with what you're saying, I think that this, and you know, it's all fairly reasonable and polite. But I think rather than just nice people and trolls, there seems to be a scale. The most obvious are trolls, because they've really got nothing to say. They're just trying to be rude and aggressive. So, you know, they'll just leave abusive comments and there's no sort of logic or reason or intelligence to it at all. But there seems to be a sliding scale of this. So we've got the troll, no intelligence, nothing really worthwhile saying, just abuse. And then we've got the next one, which is the person who feels they've got something to say, but doesn't know how to say it in an intelligent or reasonable way. So, you know, they'll disagree with what someone says, so they'll just leave a comment that you're a dumb head, or you're stupid, or you're an idiot, or something like that, you know, and then back it up with some sort of opinion. You know, you're an idiot, that's not right, or you're an idiot, that's not true, or you're a dumb brain, or, you know, some sort of comment wrapped up in abuse, which is sort of the next level up from a troll. You know, they actually feel they've got something to say, whether or not it's worthwhile hearing. They feel they've got something to say. And then further up the line, we actually have a group of people who are probably reasonably intelligent and probably do have some good points to make that are worth saying. But they can't say it in a way that's not insulting. So what they'll often do is they'll disguise it. They're intelligent enough to be able to make the comment sound polite, but they'll put in it some more intellectual insults. So, you know, I don't agree with what you're saying in this video. I think your reasoning lacks depth, or I think your intelligence is challenged by this topic, or basically saying you're a dumb head. Sometimes they go on to express why they think differently, but the underlying tone is an insult. And I know people like that in real life too, that, you know, they just can't address a topic or express an opinion without the need to be insulting. And to me, they're probably the most annoying, because trolls are easy, you know, trolls, okay, delete, block, game over. But it's those ones that pretend to be polite and want to debate. You know, they're not happy just to say, my opinion is different from yours, my opinion is this. They feel a need to try and prove that you're right, that you're wrong and they're right. And they feel a need to debate it. And we've all seen this on YouTube, debates that go on for page after page because some guy just can't let it lie. You know, he's got to have the last word, he's got to try and prove his intelligence. You know, I think those guys are more complex, equally rude, but more complex in that, yeah, they can't just let it lie and move on to the next video and make another comment. They feel they need to try and prove their intelligence and try and prove that they're right. So, yeah, I think it shows some sort of deficiency. I mean, if we're confident in ourselves, we should be able to say, I disagree with what you're saying, this is what I think, and leave it at that. You know, is there really a need to try and convince other people that we're right and they're wrong, or that you know, that we know more than they do, or we're more intelligent? You know, it's one of the reasons I like living in Japan, is these guys are quite happy if you give them an opinion, even a really weird one. They're quite happy to go, oh really, okay, and leave it at that. You know, they don't need to debate it, they don't need to argue it, they don't need to, you know, because really they recognise that it's a waste of time. You know, it's the same as trying to debate with those people that think they already know everything. you won't convince them any differently. You know, no matter how many facts or how much information or how much experience you have on the subject, they will be convinced that they know everything already. So anything after that's a really bit of a waste of time. So yeah, interesting thing, the agro people on YouTube. An interesting little cross-section of the world, I think. Every time I see that stuff, it reminds me of one of the other reasons I like living in Japan. You know, I miss my family and occasionally I want to go home. But when I see that sort of behaviour on YouTube, I think, yeah, you know, you don't get that in Japan, in my small country town like you do, you know, in Western countries, and I don't miss it one little bit. So anyway, good luck with that.